Live from Sin City, it's the Socks and Pinstripes Podcast. And now, here's the star of the show, Diet Dr. Griffin!
This is Diet Dr. Griffin, jet-lagged Diet Dr. Griffin, back with another episode of the Socks and Pinstripes Podcast. How you doing, Shane?
I am regular lagged and doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you, Griffin?
I'm doing all right, all things considered. I was in Atlanta this week on a training assignment with work, and Atlanta is a lot colder than Vegas is right now.
Weird.
Okay. It's getting below freezing.
I would have not. So I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I don't ever in my mind see Georgia as a state ever getting below freezing. So I know that's wrong, but
no, I mean it didn't snow or anything while I was there, but we were supposed to have like a shuttle that was supposed to take us from like the half mile to our training site from the hotel, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that because the guy's on vacation." So I ended up walking like a half mile to the site from the hotel in when it was like 26 degrees outside the first couple days.
oh geez, did you at least have warm clothes or?
I had some warm clothes, but it was only like a 15-minute walk, so it wasn't
Okay.
that bad.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
did have to walk to the convenience store to get my little snacks for work because my place considers lunch a personal expense. So what I did
Really?
was doing was I went to the convenience store. Yeah. So I went to the convenience store and I got like a $15 per diem. So I would just buy like protein bars and soda. So I
Yeah.
got something to drink because I was
$15 for lunch. Geez, that's like
no for
half
breakfast.
of for breakfast. Okay. Still
Yeah.
though. Still.
Well, you get 45 for dinner, so you
Okay, it
get a
evens out, I guess. Yeah.
decent sized dinner. Yeah, it was
Like $15 is like what, two pancakes somewhere?
not even really
Yeah,
at some places.
yeah.
Trying to get under $15 when one of your breakfasts is at the airport is a fun challenge. But
I know it's four pancakes without any service at Blueberry Hill. So
yeah. I usually get takeout, but the quality of the food is good, but the service wasn't at that particular time.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, I was just making a funny anecdote. I don't hold it against you. So
Yeah, I've eaten at other locations there, but that one just is the nicer physical location. The rest of them are kind of like diners.
oh yeah. I mean, I love a good diner. We have this place in Seattle called the Mecca Cafe.
Yeah.
And it is probably the seediest, I would say, dive bar. Maybe maybe the 5 Point is more so because the 5 Point is open 24 hours, and if you go in there after like 2:30 a.m., it's just people doing coke until they can drink again at 6, and it's pretty abysmal. So
Wow, this is taking an interesting
yeah,
turn.
and then there's the rest of us who are just, out doing whatever, and then we want, drunk munchies at 2:30, and so you go in and you have chicken fingers and French fries with all the coke addicts. So
Yeah, yeah, Shane. I am usually in bed by 11 o'clock every night, even on the weekends. So
yeah, I mean these days me too, but every once in a while, I gotta go howl at the moon. So
yeah. I used to work graveyard back in the day, so I know about howling at the moon.
yeah, you get it, you
Well,
understand.
speaking of howling at the moon and stuff that's bright and shiny and awkward transitions, Rob Manfred was talking about the so-called golden at bat this week. And I think it was just a trial balloon because I've already heard rumblings that they've back away from it because everybody was yelling and not really happy about it. But there's
And
this proposed rule change that they're floating out there, where at one point during the game at any one at bat, they can change the order and put another guy up there. So let's say the Dodgers are running out their, 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the ninth inning and they're down a run. Well, let's say we can put Ohtani in there as the last at bat.
Although, if this last season is any sort of indication on how those hitters hit, you might as well just let Tommy Tanks hit a home run and keep Ohtani. So.
I'm just saying that's a hypothetical example. If you've got, Aaron Judge and you've got the Yankees 7, 8, 9 up there to end the World Series, would you rather have Judge potentially get one final at bat? That's the theory
John Carlos Stanton all the way.
Well, that's the theory behind the golden at bat. You're right. We can argue which person they put in, but the point is they can put their best hitter in there. Any team can put their best hitter in there at one particular point in the game.
Yeah,
and everybody went up in arms about this, and I think it's a ridiculous video game idea. What do you think, Shane?
Well, so here's the thing. Like, there needs to, well, there doesn't. Okay. There is a perception that there needs to be more offense in baseball. Obviously, those of us who like baseball, present company included, we think the game is fine. But for the whoever needs it to be more exciting so that they can make more money and add revenue, like the NFL, there needs to be more offense. So I understand the fact that you want the biggest stars and the biggest moments to create more viewership, and that part of it makes sense to me. But I think there's a better way to do it, and I think that it's almost just like seems like gimmicky, like get a free pizza for if you throw your birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, and like we'll throw in a $10 roll of quarters, type of.
I didn't think about it from the perspective of them trying to add more offense. I viewed it as them just trying to add drama to an end of the game and get people more eyeballs on the product. I think they looked at like the situation, like the World Baseball Classic. Do you remember how that ended?
Yeah. Oh man, the World Baseball
Ohtani and
Classic
Trump. I said Trump. I said Trump instead of Trump. Ohtani and Trout ended the world.
I didn't know he played baseball.
I mean, Ohtani's a very good player. I love him.
Okay.
Anyway, the whole World Baseball Classic ended in this magical at bat between Ohtani and Trout, and I think that that's kind of the moment, the magic that they want to be able to end games with, and get that fan excitement, get the casual people who don't normally watch them to say, hey, there's a chance that the best hitter on each team will have an opportunity to, do something at the end of the game. I think that's the theory behind it. But you were talking about them trying to bring in more offense, and you had a suggestion. So what was the suggestion that you were hinting at?
Oh, yeah. So, I thought, so as much as we talked about this, and we're, the two of us were in a little bit of a disagreement on this, but I think I liked the idea of making the starting pitcher go a certain number of innings, because they're not going to be able to just full velocity and have their, strikeout stuff for the whole entire game. Right now the game it's proven statistically that the harder you throw, the more swing and miss there will be, and the more outs you will get. And eliminating that is going to, or at least decreasing that, is going to probably be easier on people's arms, because they're not going to, it's going to be impossible for them to go out and give them, however many innings.
They have they have to be more selective about when they use their elite pitches.
Exactly. And then not only that, I think that you do shorten the season a little bit to make the games a little more meaningful because honestly, if I'm being completely honest, do I love that baseball starts in April?
Oh, starting
Absolutely.
April starts in March, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. End of March, beginning of April. Do I love that? Absolutely. Does it need to? Probably not.
I think the baseball season is too long. I think you're right on that, and unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that we can do to change that.
Yeah.
If they did shorten the season, I would honestly be fine with the way that the Japanese teams do it, and they just have like a shorter, a more of a set schedule in terms of like all Mondays are off days, all or whatever one day a week is always an off day. But
Gotcha.
it's a lot more difficult to do that in the United States where there's just more geographical ground to cover.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
in Japan, everywhere, a cross-country train ride's like 2 hours on the bullet train.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's a much different experience from the traveling side.
Well, they also have bullet trains too. So
Well, I mean, we don't have we have a wannabe bullet train
yeah,
system.
we have a very
Talking,
fast train.
they've been talking about like trying to do a train system from California to Vegas for 2 decades now, and they're claiming they're actually going to start doing it now, but I
Yeah.
don't believe it. I think the Oakland A's have a better chance of getting that stadium in Vegas than they do getting that train to go from Victorville. It's not even going from LA. It's going to Victorville to start, which is a
Nice.
joke in and of itself. Victorville is like 100. Victorville is like 150 miles from Vegas. So like
Yeah.
you got to drive. You still got to drive from LA to Victorville, which is more than 100 miles to get to the train. So just that's just silly in and of itself.
I did see, speaking of the A's going to Las Vegas, my mom sent me a copy of the Las Vegas Review Jour, which I have no idea why they're trying
Review
to come back.
review journal. They're trying to be a little
Yeah.
fancy.
Oh, yeah. There's their own paper cut off the end of journal. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, word to the editor on that one.
Yeah, the review journal like doesn't want you to view any articles there without paying for it.
Yeah. Well, so my mom pays for the actual physical copy, and it says ballpark deals. Ballpark deal. A's hit triple. Three long anticipated agreements approved by stadium authority. So it looks like it might actually be happening. So
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, stay tuned. But it's closer than it was before, whenever that issue came out.
Well, we got a nice little segue there unintentionally. Now, the A's actually did make a free agent signing this week, and one that it was a little bit baffling because they signed Luis Severino to the largest franchise deal in the history of their organization.
Are they
Three
actually going to
years,
start trying now?
3 years, $67 million
Yeah.
for Severino, which is just
That's like
like
ace money, which is weird. So
Sevy was at one time an ace caliber pitcher when he was with the Yankees, but that was more than 5 years ago.
exactly what
He's
I'm talking
had a
about. So.
lot of injury issues, and he was a decent pitcher last year, but
Oh no, he's serviceable as far as pitchers go. Absolutely. Yeah, no shade, Severino. Sorry, I wasn't trying to say you were washed up and done, but
I mean, yeah, he's not particularly a great pitcher,
I'm just
and
20 million a year. I think you'd want to get someone closer to their prime, in my opinion. But
and the Mets did give him a qualified offer, and now the A's are going to have to give the Mets a fourth round pick, basically,
hmm.
for the right to
I
sign
mean,
Luis Severino, which I just feel like for the
yeah.
A's to sign him is just like they
Why?
basically did this, in my opinion, because they felt like they had to do sign somebody to show that they weren't just pocketing all of the revenue sharing money that the other teams have been giving them.
Yeah, yeah, right.
There's like no other logical reason why they would just shell out $67 million on a pitcher with that team. They're nowhere near contention,
Yeah.
and they're
I mean,
not.
if you're Severino, you're probably pissed a little bit because you have a better chance of winning on the Mets than you do on the A's. So
Well, he's clearly doing this for the money.
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, but still. But
Clearly doing this for the money. And according
does
to
he
Jeff,
have a World Series ring? Sorry to interrupt.
no.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I guess money's more important than winning to some people. So
I mean, the World Baseball Classic's more important than the Olympics and the World Series to a lot of players. So that
yeah.
too.
I mean, honestly, it's more exciting than both. I would say. Well, yeah, honestly, yeah. If we're gonna go on basically on what the last World Baseball Classic was, yes, more exciting than the World Series. So
And according to Jeff Passan, there is an opt-out after the second season.
okay,
So he could only spend 2 seasons pitching in Sacramento.
yeah.
So this is
Ooh, I gotta. Would you rather get to know the host really quick, Griffin? Would
okay.
you rather go to the World Baseball Classic or the Super Bowl?
Are you talking like the finals of the World Baseball
Yeah,
Classic?
that's finals. Sorry, yeah, because if you would say the whole thing, then obviously you'd go to the whole thing, right? So.
I'd probably go to the World Baseball Classic
Yeah. Okay. Me too. I just wanted
because
to make sure we were on the same page. So you're
I
becoming a
was
Yankees fan, so I don't know if I'm losing you, from the sport in general
no,
or.
no, no. I'm not a big football fan, and honestly, when the Super Bowl was in Vegas this past year, I was seriously considering spending a significant amount of money to buy one ticket to go to the game,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I had the money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to spend that much money when I didn't watch a single regular season game last year.
Yeah. Right.
I don't even think I watched, I think I only watched the Super Bowl. That was the only game that I watched. And
Yeah.
probably the only reason I watched the Super Bowl is so that we could talk about it on the sister podcast, Walk Like a Mailman.
Perfect.
That was
Love it.
that was probably the only reason, and I couldn't bring myself to spend that much money on something that I just didn't really have a lot of interest in. So,
Yeah, that's one of those things where I think I would go if, someone really wanted to go, but I would much rather go to the World Series or the World Baseball Classic. So,
and I have been to the World Series too. I did knock that out.
okay,
The
nice.
World Baseball Classic though would be something fun to do, but I also have to go to Miami to do so, and I'm not eager to go to Miami anytime soon.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've never been, but I hear mixed reviews anyway. So,
I mean, traveling is kind of the pain in the butt part of going to Miami.
oh, why?
Infrastructure, traffic, airport,
Mm.
a lot of people down. A lot of people have gone down to Florida in the past few years,
Oh,
especially
yeah, that's
down to
right.
Miami.
Yeah, I forgot if Ron DeSantis was bragging about that a while ago. So,
Yeah. Well, speaking, let's circle back to some of the free agent news that's kind of happened since we last recorded. Frankie Montas, former athletic, I guess is what we got to call them now since
yeah,
the AFs on the schedule.
yeah.
He went to the Mets and signed
Oh,
a 2-year, $34 million contract. So now he's going to be part of
2 years, 34 million. Frankie Montas. Did he come from the Reds, right?
Yes, he was with the Reds and the Brewers. He was traded to the Brewers at the deadline.
So he's had so I had him on my fantasy team to start. He had 5 good games and then was not that great. So, I mean,
Um,
good for him to get 15 million for 2 years. That is
no,
unexpected. So,
17, Shane, 17.
oh, geez. Yeah, even even better for him. So,
Well, amongst all of the rumors of Juan Soto going to the Red Sox, the one signing that the Red Sox did make was Aroldis Chapman for one
in,
year, 10.75 million.
interesting. Well,
Well, I
I guess.
mean, It's not that big of a shock because they needed back end bullpen stuff. Chris Martin and Kenley Jansen, who were their setup and closers respectively last season, are both free agents.
Oh, yeah.
So right now they had a couple of in-house guys and a recovering Liam Hendricks from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
He missed all of last season, and they signed him on kind of a 2-year deal just to get him healthy for this year, hoping that he comes back and becomes the closer. That'd be my estimation.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good too. I mean, that'd be good if he bounced back and was great. So,
Yeah, he's a heck of a guy.
yeah.
I got to see him pitch when I was in Chicago a couple years ago, and he's got so much fire and intensity.
Nice. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love guys like that. That's like Craig Kimbrell with his weird.
And Craig Kimbrell was good, you know.
Yeah, when Craig Kimbrell was good, yes.
He's probably going to be a Hall of Fame closer when you think about
Oh, oh, absolutely. I mean, he has to be.
it.
So,
Him and Jansen, they both have over 400 saves.
yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if Billy Wagner is officially in the Hall of Fame this year or not too. So,
Oh, yeah, that's right. So we'll wait for the voting to finish on that one. So,
yep. Danny Jansen signed with the Tampa Bay Rays. He's a catcher.
oh, the catcher from Toronto, huh? Oh, he
Yeah,
went
he was traded to the Red
Toronto,
Sox.
and then he went to the Sox because he played in the game where they both played each other, and he was on
Yeah.
both teams. Yeah. That was a fun little statistical anomaly this year. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shane Bieber is back with the Guardians.
let's go. That's my namesake right there. Let's go, Shane. Bounce
Yeah.
back year, baby. Actually, you had a pretty good year, but still.
He signed a 1-year, $14 million contract with a $16 million player option for 2026. And
Right.
he went Tommy John surgery. He went under for Tommy John surgery back in April.
Yep.
So it's kind of one of those similar Liam Hendricks deals.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, he's supposed to be back in the middle of 2025. So he
Hmm.
may be one of those
Interesting.
he may be one of those guys that could be effective in the playoffs for
Yeah.
the Guardians should they advance that far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did last year,
They
so
did
they
last
got.
year, but that division was
Yeah,
pretty competitive.
yeah, that's true. I think it looks like it's going to get. Well, the Cubbies are in the NL, so still, it looks like it's going to be competitive though.
But I
So,
mean, you had the Tigers and the
Brew Crew.
Royals and the Twinkies barely missed the playoffs
Yeah.
too because
Tigers,
of how
yeah,
bad.
Tigers, Royals, Brew Crew, Twinkies.
Well, the Brewers
Man.
in the NL Central.
Oh yeah, that's right. Brew Crew. Yeah,
It used to be in the AL Central.
Brew Crew and Cubs. They're going to be the ones duking it out next year for the top dog spot in that
Brewers
division,
used to
I
be in
think.
the American League back in the day when I was growing up. So
Okay, good. So
it-
I'm not like completely insane for thinking that. That's
no,
good.
no, no. Now
No,
here's
you know who should go back to the league they came from? The Houston Astros.
yeah, it's the American League too. I mean NL too, excuse me.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting trend that's kind of begun lately. Clay Holmes, former closer with the Yankees, signed with the Mets, and the intention is that they're going to make him a starter.
Hmm.
And this is
Interesting.
a bit of a trend that we've been starting to see lately.
Yeah.
Guys like Garrett Crochet, who was a reliever, became a starter. Reynaldo Lopez
Oh yeah, dude.
became a
Reynaldo
starter.
Lopez had a fantastic start to the year. So
Jordan Hicks was signed by the Giants with the expectation of him being a starter. That one didn't quite work out.
yeah.
There have been
Well,
reports,
Clay's nickname was Clay Blow a Save Holmes, so maybe he'll do better as a starter.
but there's been some guys that have made the transition successfully. Seth Lugo, for example, was
Yeah.
somebody who was a mostly career reliever who is now, one of the better starting pitchers in the American League.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
I just wonder if this is a trend because you can get these guys to sign deals for less dollars than your traditional starting pitchers.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess yeah.
It's kind of a good little loophole.
And with the way that pitching seems to be going, is you're really only. I mean, ideally, you'd like them to go through five. If they only go through four and you have a great bullpen, it's really not a big deal. And if you're the Dodgers, you just need them to throw 3 innings and you'll figure it out from there. So,
Yeah. Roki Sasaki is expected to get posted during the baseball winter meetings the next week or so.
okay.
And he'll likely sign in January though, because there's this whole deal where he's gonna get the January, not the January, the 2025 international slot money, so the 2024 international slot money. I
Okay.
guess it allows more teams to be able to sign him
Uh, hmm.
for more money. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it.
Hey, man, what if he went to, what if they had Imanagi just jaw his ear off about coming to the Cubs and he went to the Cubs? That'd be crazy.
It's possible. The Cubs are a team that should be really more aggressive than they are.
Yeah. Well, they
I
were oddly aggressive at the deadline, and I think maybe they probably thought like get some things for cheap for next year then. I mean, I don't know. I am almost next time I'm in Vegas going to put a futures bet on the Cubs winning the World Series next year. I just have a good feeling about the Cubs. So,
they're a weird team because they also have talked about trying to trade Seiya Suzuki and or Cody Bellinger.
yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, last I saw, I think people were reporting that he's probably Bellinger, anyways. He's probably going to stay in Illinois, in Chicago. But
Yeah, I mean he exercised his player option, so
yeah,
he's there. It's just a matter of are they gonna try to get rid of him or not to
yeah.
get some of the money out of the way.
Well, they just got my favorite um, third baseman, so at the deadline. So well,
Yeah,
hopefully
you
he
saw
plays well.
Paredes.
Yeah, hopefully he plays well for them. I mean, I guess my favorite third baseman has to be Rafi
Yeah,
because why would you not
Rafi. I
want
mean,
Rafi?
he's my favorite player.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Uh,
So former Boston Red Sox player Tyler O'Neill signed with the Orioles on a 3-year, $49.5 million deal.
yeah, makes
And
because when you have a bunch of outfielders on your team, what's one more? So
yeah, I was a little surprised that Baltimore went in this direction. I figured they would go more towards the pitching route and they would let some of the younger outfielders and younger players take over. I figured like Heston Kjerstad would be somebody we'd see a lot of.
yeah,
Instead, they've
Hessen.
and instead Heston Kjerstad, excuse me, and instead they have gone for they're basically replacing Anthony Santander with Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe they are taking pages out of the Mariners book because this is like classic Mariners. Like, what is the Mariners' strength? Pitching. What do? Trade for more pitchers. It's like, well, we already got that. Like, do something else, please.
Yeah, and Tyler O'Neill is a pretty good power hitter. He had 31 home runs in Boston, kind of a streaky guy. And it'd be interesting to see how he performs with them switching the ballpark up again
Yeah,
with the walls again. So it's kind of hard to see what they're doing there.
yeah.
But there is an opt out after the first season on that deal, so it might not be as long term of a deal as we think it is.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I guess we'll see what
here we
happens.
do have a big long-term deal. This deal broke yesterday. Willie Adames and the Giants, 7 years, 182.
Yeah, so 12 mil a year, a little under 12 mil a year, basically. So.
A little more than 12 million. Here's 182, Shane. Math.
Oh, well, yeah, math. Sorry.
Math. That's 182 divided by 7. That's 26 million a year.
Yeah. Well,
And
12
here's
plus $12 million a
yeah.
year.
And here's this thing that they're doing. He got a $22 million signing bonus. So another situation of a guy trying to skirt the California state income tax department.
Ooh. Nice. Well done, sir.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think of this move?
I am kind of bummed because I was hoping that the Mariners would take a stab at him because he's a younger infielder. And man, could we use some younger infield at a good price? And for as talented as he is, I think $26 million a year is a good price. Although I don't think the Mariners would ever commit to anyone that long of a term unless it's Julio Rodriguez, who hopefully he turns it around because that's gonna be egg in someone's face if that doesn't work out. So
Julio's deal is one of the more complex deals that I've ever seen in terms of how it's structured, and we could probably do a whole episode based on like all the different opt-outs and funny stuff in that deal.
yeah, I mean that makes sense because he was super young when he signed it, and the Mariners don't like paying anyone money if they don't have to.
Yeah,
So
there were like the parts of the contract where it was contingent on MVPs and like certain amounts of money and years and
yeah.
my internet's crashing while I'm trying to load it up here.
Well, all that to say, I'm happy that the Giants got Adames. We'll see what the Giants do next year. If I was Willie, I probably would have tried to find a way to stay on the Brew Crew and try to win a champ. I think
Well, the
they're
Brewers
closer.
are too cheap to
Yeah.
spend money on that.
Another team that's too cheap. I mean, I guess I think that the Giants are trying to compete with or at least showing signs of trying to compete with the juggernaut that is the Dodgers in their division now, but we'll see how it
Well,
goes.
I mean, the Brew Crew are a team that declined an option on uh, Williams, their closer, so that they could get him at a cheaper ARB number by like 1.5 million. That's the kind of organization you're talking about here.
Oh, well, and here I thought that the Mariners were the only cheapskates in the league.
Yeah, so like there is an option. There's a club option on Julio Rodriguez's deal for the age 29 season in 2030, but it must be decided upon after 2028. And then that can kind of change the deal. And then the salaries for like 2022 to 2028 are decided like on the number of top 10 finishes in the MVP or the number of wins in the MVP. And then, yeah, if the team declines the
Oh, no wonder why it looks like he's pressing at every at bat, because he has to finish in top 10 voting just to get paid. Like, geez, he's gonna have to find a way to like put that out of his mind. Otherwise, he's gonna continue to play. And he's gonna continue to play pretty rushed at the plate. So
yeah, he gets like an extra 5 million a year if he gets two top 10 votes in the MVP.
no, poor guy.
And if he wins an MVP, it goes up to like 35 million
Oof, man.
or a top five vote. Like it's a really wacky situation. And then if they decline the 2030 option, it converts to a 5-year, 90 million player option. And
Of
there's
course it
so
does.
many like incentives. It's like an NFL contract, honestly.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to hit a salary cap that they don't have. So
Yeah, yeah. But he does have a full no trade clause, which is cool for him.
yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
If the team isn't ever going to commit to winning, you probably wish he would have had a trade clause in there.
Well,
So,
no, he has a full no trade, so he can go wherever he wants to go, basically. They can't
oh, okay.
get rid of him.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Do you have any closing remarks for this week?
Oh, I do. It's going to be movie based, but there is a stock sound from movies that comes from the 1951 movie Distant Drums, and it's dubbed the Wilhelm Scream. And yes, you know exactly what it is, and
Yes.
a lot
Yeah,
of
it's used all
people
over the
use
place.
it. George Lucas most famously used it in all of Star Wars as just like a joke and a shout out to this stock sound, and a lot of action movies use it. But Today's fun fact is the Wilhelm Scream, an iconic stock sound from Distant Drums in 1951. So
I'm pretty sure when Howie Long was killed in Broken Arrow, they used that.
yeah, no, it's everywhere. It's so the expression comes from the scream that Private Wilhelm gave, who was a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 Western, and he screams after he gets shot with an arrow in the thigh. So
Not even a killing blow.
yeah, and it's not a kill shot at all. It's just shot in the arrow with shot in the arrow, shot in the thigh with an arrow.
That's pretty cool, actually. All right. Well, have a good week, guys, and we'll be back next time with another episode.
Bye now.